A lot of times we feel that we do a lot of spiritual stuff. We invest in our spirituality. We do what we can. And we feel, where is that going to last us? How far is that going to take us? A lot of times we feel that all the spiritual stuff that we do, being that it's not measurable, it's just something that you are doing something significant. A lot of times we feel that those things don't have carry their own weight. They're not going to last forever. And that's what I want to talk about today. We spoke about last time about how Yaakov Avinu, how we say every day, "Vayivarach David Adonai le'nei kol ha'kahal, v'yomer David Baruch atah Hashem Elokei Yisrael Avinu me'olam v'ad olam." Right? We say, "Blessed be you Hashem, the God of Yisrael," which is Yaakov Avinu, not Abraham and not Yitzhak. Why is it special to say the God of Yaakov and not the God of Abraham and the God of Yitzhak? We know David HaMelech, he just finished collecting money for the Beit HaMikdash. He just finished the foundations of the Beit HaMikdash.
David HaMelech campaign.
What?
David HaMelech campaign.
What do you mean campaign?
David HaMelech had a campaign. He collected money.
Yes. David HaMelech had a campaign. He collected the money of the Beit HaMikdash, David HaMelech. And now, after he built that, David HaMelech, he says, "Blessed are you, Hashem, the God of Yisrael, the God of Yaakov Avinu, not the God of Abraham, not the God of Yitzhak, but the God of Yaakov." Why is it Elokei Yisrael, the God of Yaakov Avinu? Because Yaakov Avinu was the one that it says in the pasuk, "Vayidar Yaakov neder lemor," when he had a word with Hashem that he had no clothing to wear, he had no food to eat. He said, "If Hashem, you're going to give me clothing, if you're giving me food to eat, Hashem, I promise you that on this mountain, Har Moriah, I'm going to build a Beit HaMikdash." Amen. And because he said that he's going to build the Beit HaMikdash, and not only that, he also planted the Atzei Shittim. He planted the wood, the Ikea wood, to be in Eretz Yisrael. He brought it down with him, down to the land of Egypt. He planted it in the land of Egypt. It was in the land of Egypt for 210 years. The trees that Yaakov Avinu planted, and then before Moshe and Aaron left Egypt, Hashem said, "Don't only take away out with you the bones of Yosef, also take out with you the wood of Yaakov Avinu, the Atzei Shittim." You're going to miss a very good class. And Yaakov Avinu, yes, please. And Yaakov Avinu, he plants these woods on the understanding that although he can't build a Beit HaMikdash like he promised he would to Hashem on the Har Moriah, but still he's going to at least plant the trees. Sometimes you feel like you can't change everything. You can't become a yeshiva guy. You can't become kollel. And you don't know where the spiritual investments are going to last you. But your focus needs to be on the fact that your spirituality is going to always last forever. Whatever you invest in spirituality, Hashem will keep it. Just like Yaakov Avinu. He could not build a Beit HaMikdash, but at least he did what he can. The Atzei Shittim, you can't learn an hour. You can't learn a whole Seder. You know what? Learn 5 minutes. You can't learn 5 minutes? Learn even 1 minute of Torah. Learn 1 minute of Torah. That's why Hashem made Instagram, to show you how valuable 1 minute could be. That people could with 1 minute build. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That with 1 minute a person can build things that he doesn't realize how far it can take him. And therefore, Yaakov Avinu could not build a Beit HaMikdash. At least he planted the Atzei Shittim. With those Atzei Shittim, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, build a Mishkan. He couldn't do it. Not always you do what you want to do, but at least you try. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nevaro. And those woods is what was used for the Mishkan. Those Atzei Shittim that Yaakov Avinu planted were also what Hashem wanted inside of his Aron. Hashem has an Aron. It's gold on the outside, gold on the inside, and wood in between. That means that the whole Mishkan is all about the Aron. And the whole Aron is the gold that's surrounding the wood that Yaakov Avinu planted. To show you that what Hashem wants is our spiritual efforts, our bitachon. We know that at the end of the Shira of Az Yashir, we say, Vatikach Miriam and Eviyah, Miriam the prophetess, her and the woman they took the tambourines that they made in Egypt out with them, and they started to dance and to sing, and they started to sing with tambourines. That's the peak of the shir. The peak of the song of Az Yashir is the tambourines. And Rashi says, where did Miriam have tambourines from? Where did the woman of Egypt have tambourines from? And they say, because since the woman in Egypt knew that there was going to be a redemption, in that faith, that's why they built the tambourines, knowing that there's going to be a time when we're going to sing to Hashem. Tambourine is that thing that they bang. Like the Bukharians, they bang that thing. It's like a drum with these little bells.
Israel have them in the house.
Is it called the Rebecca in Arabic?
And the darbuke is one thing. This is something else. This is a tambourine, right? The women, they prepared the tambourines while they were in Egypt, in the middle of slavery, because they believed, and Hashem says, you know what's more important to me than all of the shira is the tambourines of these women that they believed in me when nobody else believed in me. The greatest chesed you could do to Hashem is to believe in Him. Hashem says, I remember for you the kindness of your youth. That means to say that the youth of the Jewish people, they were doing kindness with Hashem when they left Egypt. That we went after God in a barren land. We trusted in Him. We went after Him like in a desert. Like a kala goes after the hatan. She doesn't know how he's going to support the family, but she's relying on Him. She believes Him. That's the greatest chesed you can do to Hashem, is to believe in Hashem. There's only one chesed you can do back to God, and that's faith. And that's what it means when it says that the woman, they took the tambourines. Hashem says, this is the peak of my shira. The peak of the Beit HaMikdash is when you believe in Hashem and you say, you know what, I can't build a Mishkan, but I'm going to plant the Atzeh Shittim. That's what Hashem wants is in Aaron. Now we think that we do donations. We think that we do spirituality. You speak nice to a person, you smile to a person, make a person feel good. You feel like it disintegrates, it disappears, it vanishes, it doesn't go anywhere. It's always yours. What you take in life, what you work for in life, what you try to build for yourself in life, not sure you're going to have it in the end. But when you give to other people, when you help another person, nobody can take that away from you. That's always yours. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. You see, when you want to know about something, you want to know the essence about something, you have to look at the past of this thing that you want to focus on and the future of what happened going forward in order for you to understand what the thing that you're trying to understand is. If we want to understand the story of the Megillah, we have to understand how the story started, before it started, and how it ended at the end. We know that Ahasuerus, he had 180 storage houses that he showed for 180 days of wealth. Where did he get this 180 storage houses of wealth? We know that he was wearing the garments of the Kohen Gadol, him and Vashti. And we know that he had with him 180 storage houses. Why? Because we know that Nebuchadnezzar, when he won the Jews, he took all of the storage houses of the gold of the Jewish people from the first Beit HaMikdash. He took it with him, imagine from the time of Shlomo HaMelech.
Wow, they had that much gold.
Oh, yes, they had a crazy amount of wealth was in the Beit HaMikdash. 180 storage houses. Most of the wealth of the world was in the Beit HaMikdash. Shlomo HaMelech was the richest man ever. He even was so smart, he was able to make trees that would have golden fruits, that would produce golden fruits.
What?
Yes. So you're talking about tremendous amount of wealth. In the time of the first Beit HaMikdash, Shlomo Melech's throne was the most fanciest throne ever in the world. Right? That was where a big part of the reason why they moved to Shushan. Because they tried to make a replica of Shlomo Melech's chair in Shushan to be brought to Ahasuerus' palace, but it was too heavy, they couldn't move it. So what do? They moved all of Ahasuerus' capital to Shushan.
Around the chair.
Around the chair of Shlomo Melech. Now you're talking about 180 storage houses that he's showing off for 180 days of his wealth to the world. Where did he get this from? He got it from Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, he took all the wealth with him to the land of Babylon. And he was a very greedy man, Nebuchadnezzar. He said, I'll be rich and nobody else will be rich. He took all this wealth and he sunk it in copper ships to the bottom of the Euphrates River. And when Korash went and decided after Nebuchadnezzar died, he wanted to send the Jews back to the second temple. He said you could go and build back the Beit HaMikdash. Hashem rewarded Korash that he could find all of this wealth. He found all 180 storage houses of Nebuchadnezzar. Now, after that happened, Vashti, when she was the queen of Ahasuerus, she stopped the building of the Beit HaMikdash, and all the wealth of the Beit HaMikdash, she said, we're going to keep it for ourselves. And they didn't want to show it to anybody because they knew there was going to come a time after 70 years, according to the prophecy, when they're going to go back to the land of Israel. So she didn't want to show it. She was afraid we're going to lose it anyway. But once 70 years passed, they said, let's make a feast. It's ours. The Jewish God is done. He's done with the Jews. He's sleeping. We're not worried anymore about the Beit HaMikdash. Let's enjoy this. That's the beginning of the story. The beginning of the story of the Megillah is a story where Ahasuerus was nervous, where he was afraid that he's going to lose this wealth that wasn't even his. And who was that money from? The Jews. Now, we know that Ahasuerus was a Rasha from the beginning to the end. He wanted that Haman should kill the Jews more than Haman did. He said, I don't need your money. I want to kill them anyway. But and then all of a sudden, when Esther says, I'm your queen, I'm a Jewess, all of a sudden, now Ahasuerus says, I want to respect the Jews. I like the Jews. I don't like Haman. Let's kill Haman. What turned in Ahasuerus' mind? The rabbis tell us, says, Ahasuerus knew according to the stargazers. He knew that the one who's going to take over his throne is going to be a Jew. And therefore he wanted to kill the Jews because he was afraid of that. Once Esther says that your own wife is a Jewess, so now he knows that his son Daryavesh from her is a Jewess. And now he's not worried anymore, and he wants and he likes the Jews. Now that you understand this, you understand that when Ahasuerus died, not long after the story of the Megillah, what happens is not long after Daryavesh, the son of Ahasuerus, what does he do? He takes all the wealth of the Beit HaMikdash and sends it back to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, to build the Beit HaMikdash. When he's just 12 years old, he becomes the king. Yes. A few years after he was religious until he started going off the derech. He ended up sleeping with his dog, Esther's son, from Ahasuerus. It's a mahloket, yeah. The shegel, what? Daryavesh. Darius.
He ended up being a bad person.
Yeah. It's mahloket in the Gemara. It's a mahloket in the Gemara. So, I think it's Chagigah. So what the story is what you see in this entire story is something unbelievable. Where did Haman become rich? Haman was a barber. Haman found the storage houses of all of the otzarot, the storage houses of the Holy of Holies, Kodesh HaKodeshim. He found all the wealth of the Malchut Beit David was stored away. And since he found that wealth, that's what made Haman rich. When Mordechai got all of the wealth of Haman, so also all that went back to the Beit HaMikdash. To show you that when you invest in spirituality, doesn't get lost. The entire story of the Megillah is not a story about Ahasuerus, Esther, Mordechai. No. It's a story about the Jewish people's donations, that it didn't go to waste, that it came back. And why did Esther have to be taken to be the queen? In order for her to have a son that's going to send everything back to the Beit HaMikdash. And why did Haman have to have the rise to power so wealthy? And then Mordechai flip everything around so that the wealth of the Kodesh HaKodeshim and the wealth of the Malchut Beit David will go straight back to Israel. To teach you that when you give something, you never lose it. Baruch Adonai, amen v'amen.